Wow. Hello, everyone. Thank you ever so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you. Hi, hi, hi. Hello, hello, hello. I'm joined by today we are going to be discussing the current retrial and pretty much that little decision by the jury that has taken everyone by surprise. I am joined by wonderful guests to discuss this. It's a diverse panel. One of the guests is running a bit late, so I do want to put it out there. But she is the only one that I know that believes Karen Reed is guilty. But for the rest of my guests who go by the name of Alyssa and Pam Entertainment TV, I do not know exactly where they stand, except for Alyssa. I do know that she does believe that Karen Reed is guilty. But Pam Entertainment, how are you doing? First time, welcome to the channel. How are you doing? And how are you finding this trial?
You know what? Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, wherever you are. Uh, I am finding to be quite weird, and it's a quite interesting and very sad display of connections and power within a city. Because I don't know where I stand in regards to if she did it or not. I know where I stand is there's a lot of stunt shows and shenanigans. There's a lot of lying. There's a lot of uh, evidence not being produced or being destroyed. There's a lot of lack of evidence. There's a lot of stuff, but I'm not seeing where from what the last the reconstructionist, the two people that came and reconstructed everything and was talking about it, I'm just not seeing how he would have.
Um, oh, hold up. Did you? Did it?
Hear me?
Okay, cool. Everything all right?
Yeah, I just forget to where is my other one? I just forget to put on my new mic, and it's starting to go out. So
Okay,
don't
no
don't
worries.
don't I'm coming. Don't I gotta find it.
No worries. In that case, why don't we move over to you, Alyssa? Because Alyssa, like you have been watching this trial from its inception. Do you
Mhm.
that hung jury decision that split decision that has been made by the hung jury has surprised myself. Based on the evidence, how did you take it?
I'm still very shocked that they're hung because to me, I don't I don't see how there isn't reasonable doubt here.
Right.
They're just even if you're taking out all the everything's a conspiracy, whatever, just from the fact that there was not good evidence collection. They nothing's really been proven and you had these last two experts come on saying there's no way this happened the way that they're
Mm.
trying to tell you. To me, that should have been a quick acquittal, but we have a hung jury right now, so
Which yeah, and it sounds to be quite fair, it does sound like I don't know in my opinion, how the jury could have arrived at a situation in which they're split, especially hearing the experts. I mean, they are free to disregard the experts. They are free to disregard whoever that they actually want to. From their witness list, they could totally believe the McCabe's, no matter how we feel about it, over science. But again, I don't want it to be a system in which the jury would literally believe everyone over science, because scientifically, and I believe what happened on defense, in the last few weeks of the trial on day 29, I think it was. I mean, the defense only had 2 days to put on the case, and they practically ran it out of the park completely in something that the prosecution could not do in 28. But
yep.
that even being like I always felt that the evidence that well, not the evidence, the testimony in of itself of the accident reconstructionist that basically went on to opined and said that even if John O'Keefe was to have had his arm out to be hit, to
Yeah.
cause the injuries that he did because of the side view, there still would be other injuries present to his spinal cord, to his
So
uh,
many more.
to his head because of just the virtue alone. Even if we were to discount, um, even if we were to discount the impossibility of standing in such a way that it would hit you in the first place, even if you discount that, the fact that there is other corroborating injuries to match up with what I'm seeing, with what we saw, because he had no injuries neck down. So
And he
I
had no
believe
bruises.
that should have been enough evidence to like at least throw the case out, like to at least cause a doubt in jury's mind to be like, there's no way this could have happened by a car. I don't know what they were hoping for, but Pam, what were you about to say? Sorry.
I was saying, even if the way that I would tell you that the prosecution was quite masterful at wasting 5.5 weeks of time, because it didn't take that long to go over the information that they went over. It didn't take that, it should not have taken that long. But even when you look at what there was, how they said that it happened, I was expecting, and maybe the way that they were talking about it, I was expecting a broken bone, but not necessarily having. But I would have loved that hand would not have, if it absorbed all that impact.
Mhm.
And, like I said, just full disclosure, I have been hit by a car. I didn't break a bone, but I was bruised up and got cuts, and all of this was sore. But I was a little girl then, so it hit me up a little higher. But I was bruised, I was sore, I was all of those different things, and those things showed up in it because all of this was just completely dark. So I really would have wanted to have seen, I you should have seen a little bit more,
Mhm.
uh the bruising part that got me.
Yes.
um not, not some cuts and things like that, or as that other expert said, that they were dog bites. But I would have wanted to have seen more injury, and I'm still trying to figure out how uh all of that happened. And you got something with your arm, and then you bop the back of your head. And even it didn't their expert, the prosecution, she was there, the what do you call it, the coroner, was saying
Yep.
that it was undetermined, like how he
Yeah.
sustained those injuries.
Yep. His
So
cause of death was undetermined.
yeah. And so it's my, the prosecution did a very good job with wasting a whole lot of time. And I think that that's what they were wanting to do, not to give the defense a lot of time, since the judge has set this for what, about a 4 to 6 week trial. And they made sure that they ate up all of that time with that. So uh the jury being hung, I think it's how those verdict slips were written.
Those were
Because
Oh.
weird.
if I'm not mistaken, I don't think that they separated out drunk driving, just drunk driving by itself. The drunk driving came with a manslaughter charge or a reckless something. I can't remember what they were, because I think they believed that she was drunk when she was
Mhm.
driving, but I don't think that they believe that her driving caused the injuries. And so I think that they're hung up with, we want to say that she was drunk driving, but I don't think that they're in that. If I'm not mistaken, those could be pulled up, I don't think that they were able to say just that drunk driving charge without anything else. And I think that that's what's confusing them, all of those charges, and how they were worded, because they had that little not really a firestorm. The judge seemed to be perturbed with Karen, but
Yeah.
it just has, I think that that's what's hanging them up. uh and that's just me. I think that that's what's hanging them up.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
That that
go on.
second charge is the weird one. I just sent you the verdict slip for the second one, at least before they
Yeah.
updated it. But
Oh yeah,
Is
I'm just Sorry. Continue.
I was gonna say, does the one of those charges just say drunk driving, or is something else attached to it?
Let
So
me
it
check real
doesn't.
quick.
It has the um so the actual it's the manslaughter while operating motor vehicle under the influence, and then the lessers would be
Yeah, this
um
one here.
oh
The
let's see,
lessers.
the
I'm not sure if
manslaughter,
you can
involuntary
detect the DUI.
manslaughter, motor vehicle homicide, which is a felony OUI.
All right. So,
So regardless, the homicide is still attached to it. And this was before they updated it, but really all they did for the update was add in the not guilty
Or the
of
lesser offense?
the lesser offenses of the stated charge and the lesser offenses. So it's
finally.
still a lot on one form.
Oh, okay. Let me just go to the chat real quickly. It's like 99 point. It's like 99% doubt from Zach. Zach, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm also guessing that Pam Entertainment believes Karen Reed is guilty as well, right? Uh, I didn't quite get it from you.
I don't think she's. I think she's guilty of
So
driving drunk. I don't think she's guilty of the those other charges. I don't. I just don't. The evidence is not proving to me that that the way they say it happened. Do I
Mm,
believe that she was driving under the influence? Absolutely, but I don't believe
everyone was
that.
that night.
Yeah, I believe that absolutely, but I just don't believe that she was driving. I just don't. I don't believe all of those things.
Right.
okay. Yeah, and
See, they don't
this
have
is
a charge on there saying they don't have a charge on here saying guilty of the offense of operating a motor vehicle with blood alcohol level of whatever higher. They don't have just that particular offense. They don't have that.
Nope, they
mm,
don't.
yeah,
All
and this is
the homicide is tied to all the charges.
yeah, but this is where I also believe as well because I do think not guilty being on its own here and not having the option available for all of this might make one jury believe believe that they have to actually be found guilty of if they find Karen guilty of DUI that they also have to find her guilty of the vehicular manslaughter, which I mean it's not
Right.
clear, but at the same time, like you can be found guilty of just the DUI, just that alone. It's not something that should be
Oh, I see it down
accompanied.
here. Guilty of a lesser
Yeah,
included of.
yeah, yeah. So let me go back
Yeah,
into
the
the
lesser
chat quickly.
included are still there, but it's still
Okay.
like the the felony OUI,
Yeah,
but has to have the homicide tied to it as well.
right.
I think if
So
they had just a straight up OUI, that'd be the one
right.
thing they could find.
Yeah, they don't
See,
have that they don't have
like
that charge on there.
see it says here guilty of lesser included charge of motor vehicle homicide, DUI liquor negligence says motor vehicle homicide by operating under the influence or motor vehicle homicide by operating a like there is nothing here that actually does remove the DUI on its own. So you kind of have to find
Nope.
like and you can't find someone guilty of a vehicular homicide without finding them guilty of either manslaughter or an actual or without involuntary manslaughter or manslaughter like which
Mm-hmm.
to me is again it's just it's confusing for the jury what for the jury actually
It is.
looking at it. It is as Casey Jacobson says, "Welcome to the stream. By the way, I appreciate you for joining." He says, "It is as though witnesses are not at all necessary. They heard her say she hit him. They did hear her say that she hit him, and this was the point of contention all through trial when a lot of people were discussing this. A lot of people took that as a confession, and they took it as this is conclusive that she definitely did it." Alyssa, I want to go to you. What do you make of what she was saying when she said, "I hit him. I hit him. Did I hit him?" All of those things. What did you make of it?
I mean, I thought it was just her trying to figure out what the heck happened to him. I mean, I know, and I think she's come out in some interviews and said that like it was a question of like, could I have hit him? Did I hit him? But then you've got these witnesses who are saying, "Oh no, it was a statement." I mean, and this with, as you know, like with my psych background and
Right.
working in psych, people say a lot of things when they're trying to process. Like it doesn't always
Mm.
make sense. It seems like she was in shock at the time. I didn't take that as a confession. I don't know. I guess
And and to you, Pam, what did you make of that? Did you think that that was kind of a statement that will sink her case and split the jury like it as? What do you make of it?
The way that they were describing it, because I don't think I saw the case that day, but the way that they were describing it, it was like she was distraught, crying, trying to figure out what's going on, and she said, "Well, did I hit him? I hit him. I hit him." She was just distraught and crying and everything like that. And that's the way it sounded to me. Um, I don't know, and plus, I don't even know the way they were like the Keystone Cops when they were investigating this case. Did anybody just separate anybody to sit down and ask a question about
nope,
anything?
sure didn't.
Because that didn't that's what I think it was. It was just like you see your boyfriend and the paramedics and everybody is working on him, and you're screaming and you're upset and all of these little different things. Probably somebody noticed the tail light. What happened at the tail light, I don't know. Da, 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 da. you know that's why we tell you to be silent. Don't speak,
Yes.
because your whatever words that they talk to you about, they can use them against you. And so I think that that's what it
Mhm.
was. Like I said, I think I believe she was guilty of driving drunk. I do not believe she was guilty of hitting that man. I believe the physicist.
Mm.
That's what I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. And definitely the medical examiner, because even their own witness was not ready to say that this was a homicide, which is strange to me,
Mhm.
because it's always strange to me because you wouldn't bring a case to try and charge for homicide, and then you don't even have your the medical examiner actually going to bat for you, saying, yeah, that's exactly what happened, because the medical examiner uh was not ready to go on the record to say that this was an homicide. That has to be said. She couldn't conclusively say what it was. um from, if my memory is serving me right, by the way, let me go into the chat. It says, Zach says the only evidence is three people who suddenly remembered months after the incident that Karen Reed confessed at the scene, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him.
Right.
um Three who potentially have a lot to lose, who got together and discuss everything together. By the way, so, guys, if you hear a lot of building works, I don't know why they picked Sunday to do it, but if you hear that in the background, I do apologize. I just want to say that. Um, Casey Jacobson says firefighters, paramedics, with people with no skin in the game. She did it. She and tried to blame everyone else. That's despicable. Now that has to be said, because there were other witnesses in this particular case that have said that she had said, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. And also, yeah, like, how do you reconcile that? If you were a juror hearing this, would you actually believe that she hit him just based on other witnesses like paramedics, all of those things, like hearing it? What would you make of that if you were on jury? Pam, let me go to you first.
you know i I don't want to discount that. I mean, I do not want to discount that. I do not want to discount all the things that were said. If she said all those things, I don't want to discount that. But when you start weighing it with what the other people were saying, that they heard, when you start weighing in the actions of the other people that were there, when you start weighing in on the fact that it's the it's the snowplow driver for me. He didn't see anybody out there. There wasn't anybody out there when he went through there those couple of times. So if she hit him like they say she hit him, if she believes that she hit him, he should have been out there, because it wasn't was it the first or the second time where it wasn't snowing so bad. It was snowing, but it wasn't snowing so bad that he would have
First time.
seen. It was the first, his first pass through. He would have seen that body if it was where they said that body was. He would have seen that body. And if he didn't see the body, and if McLovin didn't see the body, so you know what I'm saying. He says he didn't see a body. Somebody said that they saw a lump or something or whatever, but no one,
Blob.
the blob. Thank you. They didn't see the body. So I'm just trying to figure out. I mean, from when she left to when she came back, somebody should have seen. I don't say somebody. The people who were there, whose cars were in a particular position, because this man, McLovin, said his car was facing that way and he drove that way. He would have seen the body.
They all should have seen it if it was
I
there.
mean, they would have seen the body. It just didn't. It just miraculously appeared, and I believe it was out. I believe it was out there for a good period of time, because there was no snow, when there wasn't there no snow steps in the snow. You know,
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I gotta ask a question in regards to the prosecution. How did you make and this one goes for you, Alyssa. How did you make of the closing statements this week? Because they did try to. Well, I'm not gonna give my opinions yet. As to what I think of the closing argument, but what did you make of it? Do you think that the prosecution had done enough to close their case off and leave the jury with anything to go by? Like like
No.
do
Just
you think
no.
no? So
I couldn't follow what he was even trying to say. I mean, he literally was like, "Oh, she didn't take her shoes off, so she's guilty." Like, why would you put that in your closing?
oh yeah, she oh
How
yeah, she
dare
did.
she?
Yeah, he did there was nothing even from his closing to even put the car and put John O'Keefe being hit by the car. I did not see anything like that actually established.
No.
It was just from what I saw, it was just voicemails being played at with the timeline, which I think is concise enough. But if you're coming off the testimonies of the of the professional, the what is it called? What are they called? Expert
the
witnesses.
expert
That's the one.
witness.
The experts,
Yes.
yeah.
But if you're coming off the testimony of the expert witnesses and they're saying that it's not possible to have got that, to have got the injuries without any extra bruisings or any extra injuries down that neck down, etc. One thing
Mhm.
you don't do is say, well, Surgeon Paul or Trooper Paul did not say that his arms was handing out.
Which
Uh,
he said.
which he
He did
actually
say
did, and
that.
I actually found that to be, it should have destroyed, or at least in my opinion, it should have really cemented this jury to be hung. Sorry, to find out not guilty, because simply because of the fact that that was his testimony. I mean, if any
Right.
one of them remember that, they will think, no, he actually did. He actually did say that's how that was how he was trying to explain. That's how the
Mhm.
splinters were able to cut his skin. So
Right.
I must go back to the jury verdict. Why do you think, well, the hung jury verdict, what could
Well,
possibly,
they haven't
outside the
technically
jury forms,
come
do you
back yet.
actually believe that the prosecution, that they believe the evidence brought together by the prosecution, like why would they still be holding out on this? Because I think it's pretty conclusive, but what do you think?
I think that jury room right now is exactly what Twitter has been like, where the majority of people are like, "There's no way this happened." I mean, even like, you know, on all these polls that are everywhere. like 90% are not guilty. But you have these few who are just convinced that she's guilty for one reason or another, and they're sticking to their guns about that. And so I think that that's exactly how the jury room is right now, where most of the people are just like, come on, science,
Yeah.
facts, evidence. And I feel like it's one, maybe two that are just holding out.
And
And
sorry, go on.
I was saying, and the one thing about juries and things like that, it's hard for them to get to take out their emotional type ties to what's going on. I think them looking over at the O'Keefes and the O'Keefe's family, they
Right.
some of them may feel like, hey, we need to give them something, and but again, as I've gone back before, they don't have just the driving while drunk charge or whatever to say that there was something. I don't know. I don't know. I just think, like she said, you have people who are hinging on what the evidence is showing. And then you've got people who are just like, well, if they wouldn't have charged her if they didn't believe that she was guilty. And
Right.
so, therefore, if they charged her and we went through all of this, she's guilty. She said she did it. So she did it. So it's just probably, I think that that's what they're weighing on. You've got some people who are saying, okay, I don't think she's guilty. The experts are saying that that it could not have happened the way they said that it happened. You've got a counter expert telling you how it happened here, and then some people's emotions are tied into it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Do you think that she might? I don't want to entertain this possibility. But do you think that she might actually be found guilty of what has happened? I'll go to you first, Alyssa. Do you think that
I,
Karen might be found guilty?
I don't think so. I don't see how any 12 people are going to come to that conclusion.
They are already split though. Like,
They're split, but so what I found interesting was reports on Friday from like some of the reporters who were in the courtroom was that a lot of the jurors had dressed up more than they usually had.
okay,
Which I know like with Murdaugh and that's the one I can think of for sure, but there's been a couple other times where like the jury shows up dressed up, that's verdict day. I think that they were feeling confident that they were going to be able to bring those few holdouts to their side. And I with the evidence we have, I don't see the split being the opposite way, where it's everyone's thinking she's guilty and a couple holdouts are for an acquittal. It just I don't see that happening. So the only thing that makes sense to me is that there's only a few who are holding out thinking she's guilty. I
and
don't
what?
see those few being able to sway the rest of them.
And what about you, Pam?
I think it's I honestly I think it. Do we know the makeup of the jury? Do we remember from women to men?
6 and 6
Okay.
who are
Oh,
deliberating.
so it's actually pretty fair.
Yeah.
It's actually
Hmm.
pretty fair. Okay,
So
so
yeah,
continue.
I think you probably have
Go on.
I think there probably maybe like four. I think they probably have maybe like four that are saying that she's guilty, and the other eight are sitting there saying no, and they're trying to convince four. And I think it's probably
Okay.
two men and two women, and they're probably a little older. Uh, so I think that's what the holdout is, and everybody is a little staunch on their thing. We'll see what happens on Monday.
Right.
We'll see what happens on Monday.
What
It's
did
going to
you?
be telling. They've had a whole weekend to think about things.
Yeah, like, do you think that that's when they'll make a decision? Like, I can't see them going on till Friday before they make a decision. Like, do you think? Because I didn't think it would take this long personally. Do you think that they'll make a decision by Monday? Yeah.
I think Monday or Tuesday. I would say. I don't think they'd go much longer than that. I mean, Thursday is also a holiday, so they're going to want to be done.
Right, right.
Hmm.
Uh, what did you make of the defense closing?
I thought they were great. personally.
What stuck out to you?
So what was interesting, I think, was so for the prosecution, they did try to put together a timeline, but their timeline conveniently left out the period where John was allegedly murdered. It was everything before and everything after. The defense is closing. Like they were actually able to lay it out pretty clearly what they thought happened in that time frame, and it wasn't just totally based on speculation. It was based on testimony. It was based on a lot of the evidence that they had. So I that definitely stuck out to me, and they didn't have to rush their last minute and beg for an extra sentence. So
Yeah.
What about you, Pam? Pam, what stuck out to you with the defense closing?
What stuck out to me was his way of putting, like whatever the witnesses said, whatever the thing, he was able to weave whatever they said in those statements. So when he was talking about the experts, he talked about what they actually said. He made sure that those types of things were stuck in the juror's mind. I do like he is because I'm more of a when I look at those testimonies, I always look at who is grabbing my attention and who is making me fall asleep. And he didn't make me fall asleep. Now the prosecution was making me fall asleep, but I also felt like they were trying to tie into the people's, remember, I've been talking about the emotional heartstrings and then the science of it all. The prosecution always gave me like they were just trying to build up people's emotions. And I liked the defense because they stuck with what the facts were, what happened at the
Mm.
case, what was going on with the case, because that's what it was. This is why I never understood when I talked about that the prosecution was quite masterfully of wasting time. Um, I enjoyed the conciseness of the defense's closing argument. Just being very concise, using the
Yeah.
information that was given to them and keep it moving because I understood everything. Versus you're trying to pull on my heartstrings, and but you're taking so long. And he is very verbose. That prosecutor was very verbose, and it was just to the point where I was just like falling asleep. I'm like, I don't want to hear that. Just tell me what I need to know, and be surgical about it. Just cut out all the fat and tell me what I need to know, and let's move, and then we could go from there. So I did like the fact that the defense was quite concise with all the things that they were talking about.
Also, I just want to say, make sure you guys hit the like button while you are watching this. It will really help us out with the YouTube algorithm and getting the stream up there. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more live streams like this. Try verdict talk as well as trial talk as well, which is happening much later on today as we are covering the Clayton Echard and Laura Owens case. There's a lot of m- update in regards to that. So we'll be meeting back at half eight. Sorry, not half eight. Half six UK time, 11:30 Eastern time. So sorry, not 11:30, 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. Apologies for that. Oh wow. But yeah, so yeah, we have a lot to do this Sunday. I also wanna update that True Crime and Some Wine it would be unable to join us today. Turns out that she has got her little kitties to look after, but she is up for joining us next week when we'll be doing this verdict talk. Hopefully, we're going to have an actual verdict to discuss because for this particular one, again, and I personally think that this particular verdict here is very bad. It looks very bad for the jury, and I would have loved to, at least on this occasion, I would have loved to hear why Karen is guilty. There is one person that does believe Karen is guilty in the comments, and she basically said, let me read it. Like Casey Jacobs basically said, "Do you know how I how the effect of eyes as on bruises?" That's her comment in regards to bruises happening on the body where eyes, like so I'm guessing what she means is they wouldn't find bruises on the torso because that's where the ice was covering. But then again, bruises showed up on the face, so I don't know why that one didn't work either. I don't l- l- like in regards to Karen Reed. I don't know how on earth she could have done this. And in my opinion, I am with the opinions of people that say that juries are sometimes very, very not only fickle but also dumb because because I, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well,
I cannot for the life of me. And this is where I probably wouldn't have been a good juror because my mind was already made up the minute I heard the science. I'm allowed to believe that because the science doesn't make sense here, especially for the medical examiner to not only be able to say no, this is not this is a homicide. She could even say that, but on top of that, every expert that works in accident reconstruction or all those things are all saying the same thing, which is there is no way you can get hit at that pace and not be found at all without bruises neck down. That's let me get it up actually. So while I'm getting this up, I want to ask, Pam Pam this question. How long have you been following this case, by the way? Before I go on.
uh, probably, probably about the second week. I don't think I watched the first week of trial. I think I watched. I've been watching, intermittently this from the second week until the closing arguments.
Hmm. Second week to the closing argument. So how? What day is that in trial? Did you come in? What day is that? Uh,
Oh, I don't know. That was back in, what are we? We're in. I think I think I started the second,
oh,
maybe like the toward the end of May, because I know it had been on for a week because I remember watching court TV and it had been on for a week, and I was like, oh, I remember this trial because there was a YouTuber involved in this one, and so it was around the second week if I'm
okay. Have you heard all of the testimonies, like the witness testimonies, all of that? Oh, okay, cool. Okay, fair enough. The trial actually proved
pretty
that every
much.
cup. The trial actually, Zach says the trial actually proved that every cup in Canton and at least one Fed were drunk. Where are their charges? Oh, I actually don't know about that. I I don't know what they're going on here, but there was a bit of oh gosh, I don't want to. Now I want to talk about a couple of things that were going off behind the scenes. First, there was the fight with I forgot the name of the person now. Jillian Daniels or something, Jill Daniels or something like that.
Oh,
What's her
yeah.
name? Yeah, okay. So Alyssa, you would know more about this. What happened with this with
So
that fight
from
with Joe Daniels? Sorry, go
so
on.
from what it seemed like was Turtle Boy, the YouTuber who was there, I guess was in Canton, was trying to prove that the street that Trooper Paul had said was very steep and or hilly, and that's why John's phone said that there was 3 flights of stairs. So he went out to prove that that was not accurate because it actually apparently is a very flat street. He and his girlfriend went to go get some dinner afterwards, and they went to, was it CF McCarthy's, which is where John and Karen went the night that he ended up passing away, which is right next to D&D Pizza where Chris Albert works. And as soon as they came out, it just kind of seemed like everyone went, kind of came at him. They were yelling, screaming. He got his phone thrown. What was it? Jim Ferris, that's his name, had was the first one who threw his phone out of his hand. And then Jill Daniels rolled up and she went and took his phone, was screaming at him. I think they've both been charged now.
Yeah, I just got the footage up here, so I'm gonna play the footage
Yeah.
real quick. I'm just gonna play the footage real quick. Let me play it here.
Oh boy! Oh, look who it is! Look who's here! Here she is.
You know what? I'm so sick of your shit.
Oh, she stole my phone.
I'm sick of your shit. Okay? Enough is enough. You're a prick.
Can I have my phone?
No. How's the kids? How's the kids? They must be so proud of their dad.
That's assault, Joe.
Assault?
I'm gonna need my phone back.
Fuck up,
I'm gonna need my
Bird.
phone
You're a
back, Joe.
fucking nerd.
I'm gonna need my phone back, Joe.
You look fatter than me.
I'm gonna need my phone back.
Boom. You're a fat fuck.
I'm gonna need my phone back, Joe.
You
Daniels.
shut up. Where's your chocolate?
I'm gonna need.
Oh my god!
Oh boy.
Oh, look who it is!
Oh my word! I will say this. I will say this.
Wow.
I will say this. Um,
Now this is my
Oh.
first time seeing that. I didn't see. I had
Yeah.
not seen that.
Yeah,
Wow.
last Sunday.
so
I think.
who's, by the way, who's Joe Daniels? By the way,
Jill Daniels is was it Julie Albert's best friend? I'm pretty sure.
Courtney Proctor, or something like that. Was she
Mhm,
their
mhm.
friend?
Oh yeah, they're all friends.
Yeah. So in that particular video, it was I'm trying to find it actually. Let me try and find. It was Chris. Was it Chris Albert, the or Julie Albert's
Oh no, that's
husband?
it. She's Julie Albert's
Whichever.
sister. That's right. I don't
Which
know why
one?
my I'm half asleep still. I think
Wait. What happened?
it's Julie Albert's sister.
Oh, okay, cool. And I
Yep, yep.
think oh, flipping heck, I just lost. I think it's Chris. Well, whoever Julie Albert's husband was,
That's Chris. Yeah.
Chris Albert. Okay, cool. I'm glad I did not forget that one. But basically, he must have made a comment as he was going on. I'm trying to find the video of the comment, but basically, the comment was essentially he was going to he was basically threatening violence. Basically, let me try and find
Yeah.
it. That that he was going to. Damn it. Ah, I'm not
I think
great with.
it's not like wiping the curb with them or something like that.
Yes, it was that. It was basically going to wipe the curb with him. So I'm going to try and find this video for you. 1 second.
It seems like that family has an issue. Well, again, that goes with the families having a lot of pull and connection in towns and things like that.
Hmm.
You know, it has a lot to do with that because I remember seeing it, but I can't pull it up, so I don't know if I want to put it up and put it out there. But you know, someone was talking about the 20. I don't know if y'all. It was someone had made a connection about the 24 miles per hour. How she was supposed to have been backing up 24 miles per hour. They were sticking on this 24 miles per hour bit, but one of them, and I don't know if it was in the O'Keefe family. That's why I didn't, or if it was in thing, and I didn't want to say who it was, but somebody on involved or an ancillary involved in this case was in a car accident, and they were moving at 24 miles per hour, and they were talking about how that particular number seems to stick with everybody, the 24 miles per hour. And like I said,
Yeah,
it doesn't.
it was Paul O'Keefe.
Paul O'Keefe. Okay.
Yep. He was
I was
he got a DUI and he was going 24 miles an hour.
Yeah, because they were talking about how that particular number stuck. You know, I'm always interested in hearing how different things and stuff like that. But that just now, did he go to their establishment to eat?
No,
That was
he was at
no.
the place next door.
Got you, got you, got you, got you.
All right.
That was a lot.
This
Yeah.
is. Hold up. Let me. Okay, so this is the next video here that shows. Hold up. Hold on. Okay, yeah, got it. Okay, this next video was basically the quote: "I'll beat your face up and down the sidewalk. I would and I could." This is Chris Albert.
Justice for Peter Berger. You'll beat my face. You'll.
So this is Chris Albert, who he did testify in this trial.
Yes, he
And this
did.
is this to me. This is like and it's kind of funny because for you to say something like that, you could and you would, especially testifying to some like there were there were a lot of things that were coming out during trial that or coming out during this deliberations that showed that there was a man that was in waterfront or water top water
Waterfall.
waterfall.
Yeah.
that
Water
was a
something.
waterfall. That was a waterfall gesturing to John O'Keefe to come over. Like based on
Oh
the
yeah, Higgins.
statements, yeah, based on these statements here, like do you actually with the way that Chris is acting, Alyssa, this is goes to you. Do you actually believe that there is a cover up? Because Zach says here, I wish defense would have stayed away from the cup conspiracy theory and just hammered Rizzo that more. Seemed a bit theatrical, and that's a very good point. Do you think that them going to do you think that them deciding to go on the cup conspiracy theory helped their case, or do you think there is something to that theory in regards of Chris Abbott's actions?
I mean, just seeing like if this is how they're gonna like this family in general is acting basically in the middle of the day in broad daylight and I'm gonna assume sober, it doesn't help towards the whole possible conspiracy of okay, if they're gonna act this way, over something like this, how are they acting when everyone had been drinking all day? If something were to come up, it's definitely it's. I think there was enough reasonable doubt that they didn't have to go with that theory per se, but you know, I guess it doesn't help their case necessarily.
Yeah. Yeah, so in regards, okay, so let me read a couple more chats here. Casey Jacobson says, yes, I think she's guilty because I know she did it. I was following that we heard and the news broke out. It was an unfortunate accident with no harm intended until the defense decided divert blame. So she believes that the defense just came out of this out of nowhere and started theorizing the cops. Okay, so
I mean,
Zach
or
says,
their
Go on.
perception kind of changed as evidence became available.
And I think going with that theory of the cops and things like that, I'm okay with the defense going down it only because if you can't trust the investigator investigating the case, can you trust the evidence that the investigator compiled?
Absolutely.
And so for them, I don't know if it was more so of them trying to uh make an upheaval about the politics of Massachusetts and all this other stuff, but it was just more of, I mean, just the procedures and how things were done should have been called into question. The just even when you start this whole investigator, Trooper Proctor should not have been anywhere near, in my opinion, this investigation with the understanding now of his connection to the owners of the house. He should not have been involved in that in any way, shape, or form. um and one of the things is curious because, like I said, that I remember hearing these things, and maybe you all can help me with this one. How was people in that town or in that area's relationship with the O'Keefe family? Because I'm always interested how everybody is rallying behind the Alberts and everything like that? Are they rallying behind the O'Keefe's family? I'm interested in that dynamic, because the way this is pulled out and the way that America is about their police officers and their fallen police officers, there is a lot of fanfare around that, and I just didn't feel nor see that fanfare around that. But again, I want to be very clear. I didn't see, like I said, I came in like on the second week. I didn't hear about all of this as it was coming up. So I just didn't know what was that fanfare about, because it just seemed like didn't seem like a whole lot of fanfare that I was thinking of, and I don't know. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. I'm just used to seeing when cops are when police officers are killed. I mean, there's this big huge fanfare. There is, you don't just pick anybody to go over that case. You get the best of the best to be the
Yeah.
investigator, because they want everything,
Everything.
the I's dotted and their T's crossed. This just seemed like, how did they feel about John O'Keefe? This didn't seem like they and that's just a me thing. That was one of
Well,
the
the
most curious.
investigation, like,
Yeah.
I think kind of shows that. Like,
Yeah.
they if for usually, like you're saying, when a cop is killed, you know, they will do absolutely everything to investigate every single aspect of the case. And it's like they collected evidence in solo cups and used leaf blowers and didn't write reports. It's just, it's not the type of investigation you would expect when a cop is killed.
Yeah, like and that's what I mean. I personally, in regards to the whole cop conspiracy theory defense, that's what kind of put me in a back seat in a bit, because I was like, if you're gonna go on a conspiracy theory, then you better be right, and based
Mhm.
on, you better have a lot of, they don't have to prove it, but for you to present that as your evidence, it can go against you, especially with the jury thinking you're only putting this on because you don't have enough evidence for your case. So it can go against you. But what came out during trial, and just to add on to what Pam just said about, in regards to the making sure that everything is pristine, run through the book, because this is when it counts. We didn't see that. In fact, it was very clunky. It was almost put together like a Franken truck. I was dying to put that in there anyway. It came across as if it was just stitched together in the last minute, and it didn't go well. Uh, uh, Casey, in my opinion, it didn't go well because
Right.
it looked like an after. It literally looked like, as it was presented, like as if they only decided on um on Karen Reed because they either had something to hide, or they just didn't have anyone else to pin him on, so they just wanted to just put somebody that was nearer to him. And most statistically, most cases that happen like this usually are homicides committed by their other partners, their spouse, for
Right.
whatever reason. So with Karen being the last person to see him, maybe took that leap of faith and done, and decided that, oh, someone, you know, for example, if Jennifer McCabe had said, yeah, Karen was saying to him, because he wasn't there that night, that Karen was saying, oh, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him, that would be premise to lead up a case. But what came out during it doesn't seem to even, in my opinion, make sense why this case is here. Like, did you see there was also this next part, right here again. Let me play it here. Let me share the screen. Sorry about this. Let me share the screen so that you guys can hear what I'm trying to make. This is over here is
Mhm.
what happens to you if you were to be in an accident. This is just a bike accident.
Hi guys, it's Gordon. I'd like to share a very important message with you all. You know how much I love cycling and triathlons and Ironman, etc. This week, unfortunately, I had a really bad accident, and it really shook me. And honestly, I'm lucky to be here. Now, from those incredible trauma surgeons, doctors, nurses in the hospital that looked after me this week, they were amazing. But honestly, you've got to wear a helmet. I don't care how short the journey is. I don't care, the fact that these helmets cost money, but they're crucial. Even with the kids, a short journey, they've got to wear a helmet. Now, I'm lucky to be standing here. I'm in pain. It's been a brutal week, and I'm sort of getting through it. But I cannot tell you the importance of wearing a helmet. This weekend is massive. It's Father's Day for new fathers, old fathers, middle-aged fathers. I want to wish you all a very happy Father's Day. But please, 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 please wear a helmet, because if I didn't, honestly, I wouldn't be here now. Happy Father's Day.
Okay, so now, I don't know how on earth he could be in a bike accident that was going way slower than 24 miles an hour, like, and that's the result that he got. But John O'Keefe being found in the snow, which is fine, got nothing, no
Not even
bruises
bruised.
whatsoever, no bruises whatsoever. Like, I just find that strange. I just find that strange,
Yeah,
and the just
it
position
doesn't make
here,
sense.
it's too great. It's too great. Like, so some people do believe that she hit him, which I, I'm not going to be mad at. I would have loved, like I said, like, you are speaking with people here that do believe no way this case should be. But there were other people that were booked in to kind of give the counter opinion. So if the chat does seem, so if this discourse does seem a bit one sided, I'm sorry, I can't fake the funk, to try and
Right.
like make it seem even when I don't believe it. I mean, I can play devil's advocate. Maybe I will try that now. And let me kind of give you guys a bit of devil's advocate, like a little bit of curveball. Um, the voicemails. What did you make of the voicemails? Like, that was being sent out by Karen Reed to John at the time, around about the time frame that she was killed. What did you make of it? I'll start with you, Pam. Go ahead.
They were bad. She sounded drunk, and it reminded me of another case where someone sent a whole bunch of drunk text and emails and voice messages and stuff like that. It sounded like drunk. So to me, it sounded like there was an issue. uh I don't know how from that I didn't get I hit you with the car. I didn't get that, but I do get that she was upset. But they didn't sound good. But again, I believe the evidence. That again, that's the emotional stuff. Oh, that is the emotional part of it that you can't get me. I'm like, those voicemails didn't sound good. That tells me that she can get hot. She can get hot and spicy when she needs to get hot and spicy. Uh,
Mm,
that I'm gonna be honest and leave it there. Those are some emails and things. I mean, those are some text. I mean, voice messages that were for her a little damning. That gave her it pulled her personality out. It
okay.
pulled a little bit about like I said, she can get hot and spicy, but who among us can't get
Right.
upset and get mad with our significant other? I mean, and I'm not trying to downplay it because I mean they are what they are. You can't get around them, you can't do anything. They are what they are. But again, I'll just go back and say I'm just trying to figure out and I'm just going by the prosecution's witness, how their events happened, because I'm looking at a shadow. If this arm took most of the impact, I'm looking for that arm to be almost like a little wet noodle. It wouldn't be in place. The skin would be all kinds of different things. If it took
Right.
that kind of impact, I would have expected that arm to look much worse.
Okay, and this goes to you as well, Alyssa.
Mhm.
What did you make aside from the aside from the voicemails being played, being played, and it coinciding because all of this was from half 12, well, 12:34. She was supposed to have
Right.
connected to the Wi-Fi. 12:36 apparently she was supposed to have connected to Wi-Fi, but 12:30 she was also supposed to have gone at the same time, and then she sends voicemails about her, about him needing to pick up, because she was babysitting the kids, etc.
Right.
Now there was detail, so I I want to ask you if this could be committed. How
Mhm.
do you think that it would have been done, and she still would be back to babysit the kids because we know that she was with the kids. So, in what realm could this have been done? And then she goes back to babysit the kids and still send those voicemails. Like, do you have a theory for that?
I mean, the voicemails to me just work like basically show that she didn't know he was dead. She was mad that he wasn't picking up the phone.
Mm.
I mean, if we're gonna try and say that, oh, she's leaving these voicemails to like have a, you know, this is her alibi. Why is she leaving mean voicemails? Wouldn't she be leaving nice ones like, oh, hope you're having fun or something like that? It just that's a part to me that like I was like, okay, yeah, they're not good. The voicemails were, she was getting pretty heated, but it seems like it's very consistent with how, someone who had been drinking and clearly they had they, relationship wasn't perfect and she's just getting mad at him and the voicemails you could kind of see they were progressively getting more mad and then kind of more panicked afterwards, like when she woke up and realized he still wasn't home and just like upset.
Nanigo says McAlbert loved John O'Keefe but didn't attend his funeral. Casey Jacobson said you have to know that Yanetti during early court hearings that Karen hit John by accident. Unfortunately, they went with denying everything and diverting the blame. Shame. I don't know anything about
Well,
that.
that was at the her arraignment, which was a couple days after this had happened. And honestly, I think that at that point she had kind of convinced herself and you know probably then was speaking to her lawyer that maybe she had hit him. I think that with since she was drinking, not knowing what was going on, that was kind of in her head. But then as evidence came out, it was pretty clear that that wasn't the case. Just because
Rosalind,
the
so
theory
sorry, go on.
changed as evidence became available.
Rosalind Duke says, I would hate to be anyone involved in this case, but the reality is the police never checked inside the house, so the
Right.
questions will follow them forever. Absolutely, and to be quite fair, um, if you are watching this case and you do believe that Karen Reed is guilty, if she does get an acquittal, no one else is to be blamed than the investigators. It really just it's not the defense that had a great job, because I do believe that if they done their job from day one, in that case they would have made sure that they have enough to at least explain, at least enough investigation would have been done from the offset to at least explain how John O'Keefe got to where he got to in their theory, because their theory is he was hit in reverse, and again there is no way you can be hit in reverse driving at 24 miles per hour when people don't even go in reverse on average at that fast, let alone 15 miles an hour. But like,
Have
even
you
if that
tried
was
it?
the case, huh?
It's scary. I tried.
Yeah, that's what the expert was. was saying. That's what I forgot his name. Is what did they call him? Crash Daddy, something
The
like
Crash
that. What,
Daddy, yeah,
what do
Dr.
you
Wolf.
guys call him now? Like, Crash Daddy. Okay.
Yeah.
Um. But yeah. Let me just go on to read some more here. Sorry. Resident Duke says the same thing would be happening to Karen had the police never investigated her. The people would be questioning her the same way. Excited utterances are not the same as confessions. That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Again, if I was to play devil's advocate, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. And I'm not sure how many of you are acquainted with the Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion case, but just to give you a bit of a cliff note, Tory Lanez was convicted of shooting Megan in the leg. But what, and it was kind of, I would say, kind of hinging on the excited utterances that was being made by her friend Kelsey Harris, who was saying he shot her, like send help. uh those words did go to doing a lot of damage, like for the guy's case, because how do you reconcile someone shouting at the scene, he shot her, and you're now on defense trying to say, I didn't shoot her? So it can go, that can play on, on the victims, sorry, not the victims, on the jury's minds. um uh HC says, sorry doc, this case was over the moment Sir Isaac Newton entered the court. I love that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
And
I'm not gonna lie. That's very true. Like,
It's the science.
how do you argue against the science? Because end of the day, two people coming in to say, look, if you were to get hit, there will be bruises on your torso. Yeah, and you just can't ignore that. I'm sorry. What are you
getting
saying?
back to driving backwards 24 miles per hour, uh, that's fast. And that takes skill from someone who is not inebriated. And I'm
Mhm.
talking about just to keep it steady to be able to do that. It takes a lot of skill for that. I'm quite sure as inebriated as they said that she was, uh, there should have been some wheel turn. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going
Mm-mm.
to be going straight, just floor it and keep moving. You're not going to be moving at a straight because and it's in the middle of the night and it's snowing and all kinds of stuff is going on. Uh, I don't know.
It
But
doesn't make sense.
those that was the wording that I was looking for, but I couldn't find it. The spontaneous utterance. Uh, you know, I've heard people utter things like, "Oh my, someone dies, they fall down the steps or something like that." And I don't just mishear me, but and people are like, "Oh my God, I killed him, I did it," because you don't know. She was. I mean, she's sobering up, she's drunk. She remembers, but I don't know if she remembers what it. I don't know. I'm
Everything.
not going to try to say that, but I'm just saying I'm not hinging too much on that. I'm like he said, I'm hinging on Sir Isaac Newton, but again the prosecution was masterful at spending so much time getting your emotions tied into all the stuff that was going on. You're gonna have those jurors that are gonna be still tied within the emotion of it all. Somebody's got to pay. You know what I'm saying? That's that emotion that I'm feel like somebody's got to pay. This is who they have upstate, so this is who we want them to be able to pay. But
Mm.
I am on the side of Sir Isaac Newton. I just believe what
Yep.
the defense experts have said because it sounds plausible. I believe what the coroner says because she said that she couldn't determine uh, uh, I mean, these are the people that you put forth for me to believe. I don't believe the trooper who was up there and didn't know the difference between velocity and any of those things. I don't believe I don't believe him. So, it is what it is. All that
Mhm.
other stuff was just good fluff and good entertainment and stuff like that. I mean, it is what it is. But like I said, I've said it before. For him to have been a police officer, and for him to have been a police officer as long as he was, and I just would have expected. I would have expected the lieutenant or somebody to be investigating this case. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact
Mm.
You
that
have
I
everyone
just
on it.
I would have expected that level of stuff because I've seen it. When police officers, I mean everybody is coming around trying to do what they need to do, and it just didn't seem. Everybody just seemed very blasé about it. They
Mhm.
had
Right.
Karen, and that's it.
Yep.
Right. And now I'm gonna show you a bit from the closing arguments in regards to the course of events that occurred. Again, we will be back. I just want to say, I just want to give the announcement quickly that we will be back next week again to discuss the actual verdict. Should it come next week? I just want to put it out there. Should it come next week? We will be here back again to discuss that verdict. But I'm going to uh play this closing arguments, then I'll play my last media, and then we'll close off on there. But this was Lali's closing argument in regards to and saying us the timeline of events for the moments he died. John
John,
O'Keefe.
your kids are fucking alone. 1:09 a.m. The defendant texts John, I'm back in Mansfield. The kids are home alone. She's not.
Oh, that's a bit too far up. Sorry about that. Okay.
She had driven him there. She had struck him there. She had left him to die.
Nope. Go back a bit more.
Mr. O'Keefe,
Guys, I'm so sorry.
the defendant leaves that
Take
voice
your
Here it is.
time.
seething in rage as she
No, I've gone. Where's the voice notes? Why are they not sharing the? You should be playing the voice notes. Sorry. Here you go.
12:37 is when the defendant leaves this voicemail. So within minutes of that vehicle's data, going 24.2 miles an hour in reverse for 62 and a half feet, the defendant leaves that voicemail, seething in rage as she's screaming, John, I fucking hate you.
Well, the good news is I'm not monetized on this channel, so we can swear all we want, and nothing would happen to this channel. Well, of course, the bad news is that you guys can't send super chats and all this good stuff, but I do appreciate every single one of you that do want to send some support, some kind of support. But yeah, so that's what she was saying.
12:40 to 12:42. Ms. McCabe is texting Mr. O'Keefe. She tries calling Mr. O'Keefe. Gets no answer. If you recall from her testimony around this time frame, about 12:40, she was unsure whether the vehicle was actually still out front or if it had gone at that point. But
It was 12:30, by the way. But Lali, of course, says something different. It was actually 12:30, but
she was
who cares
looking for
about a
John
little
because
bit
she
of
had seen the
consistency?
defendant's vehicle in front of the house and no one had
And an
come
opening
in.
is at
So
12:45.
she was wondering where her friend, Mr. O'Keefe, was. 12:55. The defendant texts John, see you later. 12:59. The defendant calls, leaves another voicemail for Mr. O'Keefe. Exhibit 637. It sounded like this.
John, I'm here with your fucking kids. Nobody knows what the fuck you are, you fucking pervert.
Now that's okay. So I wanted to get there because any juror looking at this, they will
Nasty.
look at 1236 and be like, well, that's her done, right? She connects to the Wi-Fi. She's supposed to be leaving, at reverse at 24 miles an hour, by the way, at 12:30. But she connects to the Wi-Fi at 12:36. I don't know how that could be possible. And then she sends another, she says, see you later, sends another voicemail around 1 o'clock, I'll just say, in the morning, saying she is with his kids, you're a pervert, all these things, right? How does that
Mhm.
happen? That's what's lost me, because this has to be reconciled, and this part has to be reconciled. And so
Yeah.
far, all through this, it has not happened. So I don't know how on earth anyone, at least if I was in a jury, I'll be like, acquit this woman, because end of the day, this part does not make sense to me. Her, how, where is her phone? That has never been established. Why, where is actually, who had hold of her phone? The defense has not done a good job. Well, I haven't seen anything that's, do you know, before I took myself into, like, do you know if the defense has actually explained what has happened with Karen's phone and why it connected to the Wi-Fi? Because that does seem
That's
very
what she was
bad for
saying.
our case. Go on.
Well, it doesn't. They also, Jen McCabe's testimony was that when she was texting and calling John at this 12:40 something time, and Lally originally said 12:45 is when the accident was, but so they were saying that the car was still there. But if Karen's back at John's house at 12:36, obviously that's not true.
Yeah, but what did they actually show that this wasn't true during the trial?
I mean, the evidence did. What do you mean?
No, no, I mean, like, who held possession of the phone? Like, did they establish that at all during the trial, that
Of
that it
Karen's
was,
phone?
well, it says there's 12 there. It says Karen's phone connects to Wi-Fi at One Meadows,
Yeah.
but she wasn't. Wait, unless I'm getting it confused. Fairview.
I think you might.
I,
One
am
Meadows
I
This
is
is at
getting?
downtown.
John O'Keefe's house.
Yeah.
One Meadows is John O'Keefe's house.
Yeah. So how would she be there? And then also, oh, wait a second. Is that where she was babysitting the kids? That's where she was
Yeah.
babysitting the kids.
Right. They
Oh,
were at his home. They were.
Yeah.
yeah. So that doesn't make sense. Wait. You just hit me because of that little brain fart. Okay, it just hit me. She drops John off, because that was supposedly the time that she was dropping John off at 34 Fairview for a party, if my
Mhm.
memory is recollecting. She leaves and then goes back home to John's house.
Right.
How did they, like, how did anything, did the defense show, from what you've seen, did they show any evidence that she um was, did they show any evidence that at least that she could have hit him from 12:30 to 12:36? Because that's
Um,
pretty quick to head home.
right. I
You
mean,
know what I'm trying
I
to
don't
say?
think it was very far.
Was it?
Let me see.
Who was somebody supposed to bring John home?
No, no,
Um,
no.
so originally, well, it was that
Um,
he was gonna, um, or they were gonna go in together, and then, one would assume leave together, but then she left. I think she was just mad. Clearly, she was mad. Um,
Well, because
and
wasn't McLevin in the house too? Because I was thinking she didn't go in because she knew that he was
right,
in there.
yeah, well, because she would have seen his car and been like, "Nope, you can go in, but I'm not."
No, I'm not going in.
That's what I would have assumed.
right. So, flipping it, because the one thing I'm trying to reconcile this part, because um the one thing that the Apple, sorry, the people from Cellbrite was able to establish was that there was elevation when before John's Apple Health data, when Doma, whatever, that he was able to have climbed 3 flights of stairs, which
Right.
would have put him inside someone's house. So it corroborates the story of her leaving John at the house, and he
Gotcha.
must have
Okay.
obviously walked
And
in.
going in.
Yeah, he must have obviously, which is what the defense is trying to argue. but the prosecution is saying that never happened because she ran him over from the onset, and he somehow was buried under a lot of snow. Which again, with,
Right.
with this not being explained to me, there's no way I can find him at all. Uh, I can find her at all guilty of this. Rosalind Duke says, "Thank God we all interpret things differently. We all need someone to question our perceptions. Is the foundation of a jury trial, of course, absolutely."
Absolutely.
And at the same time, I know what I said about the jury being deadlocked. You know, it's not the jury being deadlocked on this is kind of weird for me, man, because I don't see how someone can do this crime that fast. Hit him and got back to the house. All of this within 6 minutes. That just. I mean, when did she start? Why didn't she destroy any of her landmarks? How long would it take for her to drive from John's house to
It's about
from
6 minutes.
yeah. So where is the
Like
room to do this act? You know what
two,
I'm trying to say?
3 miles away.
I guess the prosecution is saying that she hit him within those 6 minutes.
There is a question here though. Karen calls John and it was unanswered. So the question is, why would she call him after she had just hit him?
Right. And
So
then
Alyssa,
repeatedly
sorry.
leave all those voicemails.
N- no, I mean at 12:33 she
33.
calls.
Mhm.
Karen calls John, and this one was unanswered. So apparently she had already hit him already. So why would she call him the first time, and then call him again and again? As saying I think hate you, then calls him again just to leave. Yeah. So why would she do that?
Question. Don't know.
Uh, Case Jacob says is the very definition of a hit and run. Yeah, but you wouldn't get back to your house that quick in a snowstorm. You gotta remember this is a snowstorm. I wish I had a different voice here, but it is a like how do you race like it would have taken her longer to get back home. Put it that way. If she was trying to get away at 24 miles per hour, it would have put her. She wouldn't have got him that quick. I don't believe so. Especially, this is what I'm saying. For you to call this person, you must have either already been at home or I can't
Or
think
she
of
was
it.
just calling him
Oh,
on the way, like while she was
I was gonna say
driving.
she must have had. I was assuming that she was driving,
Yeah.
drunk,
Call him while she was
and
driving back.
she called them
Yeah.
because your phone is she had one of those. She looks like she had a very nice SUV. It probably she just needed to call John, call
Yep.
John again, call John.
that's
I'm
fair.
sure. Yep. That makes the most sense.
That's fair. So, did you? Oh, that damn. Okay, so let me share this screen with y'all. Because something else happened during the week. Um, did you guys see that video? Did you guys? Damn it. Let me try and get it up. Sorry. Hold up. So now I want to talk about this because this is when. By the way, did you guys see that video of that have been circulating of Karen and Alan Jackson at
Oh
at
my god.
the at the
Yes.
why are you making that face?
Oh yes.
Why are you making that face? Okay, finish it off for me. What video then? What video am I referring to?
Oh, the one with I don't know, where he's pulling her back or whatever.
Mm, oh yeah. What do you
Or
make of that
also,
video?
I haven't
It's
seen
so
it.
quick. Yeah. Wait.
well,
You
we're
haven't
saying it's
seen
a
it?
live photo
Yeah. Sure.
or
What?
something. I don't know. It I
Go on.
know everyone's just debating if it's real or not. It it looked
Do you have
AI
it?
like me
Yeah, yeah.
personally, and
I'm
I don't
getting it up
care
too.
about it either way.
Okay.
Oh, 1 second. 1 second. Hold up. Okay. Um. So this is the particular video in question. This is the video in question. Apparently, that's one of the. Do you see it?
Mm.
Okay. So,
Spicy.
do you? What do you make of it? Well, I mean, the reason why I'm asking this question is because this particular video is going viral, and it's basically saying that how can they have a relationship like this, after, and
I mean, it would be super unethical if
yeah, no,
it's
but like,
real.
yeah, no, but like, is this where people draw the line though? Like, they were defending Proctor's Texas.
Right.
I'm gonna stay on this point. They were defending Proctor's Texas just a few weeks ago, saying, "Oh
Mhm.
no, those were Texas being sent in private." Anyway, everyone is allowed to send Texas like this, but this is where they draw the line. Okay, fair enough. It, like to me, I don't think anything of it personally. I just
It doesn't change the
go on.
evidence
Huh?
either way. It doesn't change the evidence. I mean,
Yeah,
for me
that's
at
true.
least. Like,
Now, what, this was after the trial or this was during the trial?
This is during,
this was like
apparently.
the other day or something.
I don't believe it. I don't know. I actually don't know what to believe anymore in this trial, to be honest. I don't know what to believe. Apparently, I don't know what to believe. But
I can say that a lot of people are very, I guess because we look at the law and jurisprudence with a certain level of, there should be some dignity, some class and stuff like that. And you look at this and you're like, that's a little too cozy. But, I would just tell you, my first thing I saw was like, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right if you're looking at law and jurisprudence and stuff like that, and holding it with a level of dignity. However, we've got people removing their dogs and going to army bases and dropping their phones and friends of the people
oh no. Oh God.
whose
Uh,
home is being investigated. There is lots of the phone there. So there just seems like there's a lot of inappropriateness going on. But again, the evidence is the evidence. I believe what the evidence is showing. I don't, like I said, I believe that she was driving drunk. She should not have been driving drunk. But the way they said that happened, I just don't. I would have rather he would have been more in this. To me, he would have been more in the street. To me, I don't know if
Yeah, absolutely.
he would have flipped and flopped and did a pirouette in a
oh. Okay. Apparently
in
there
a
was static.
plie.
One. Okay.
So
My bad. Apparently there was static on the mic, so apologies for that. If you're receiving any technical difficulties, apologies for that. But I just want to close off on this last one here, because this last one here is showing that there is, for the first time ever, people who believe that Karen Reed is guilty have showed up to the courthouse, and they are saying that they're there to support the O'Keefe family. This the person that was posting says, I asked if they think Karen killed John, and they responded 100% she admitted it. So I'm gonna play a bit of that, and then I have some questions for you, Alyssa, because I feel like you might know what's going on here.
Don't put your kids, there's a door tomorrow.
Is that cooking though? Is that cooking in the
How do you
FBI?
guys feel about the hung jury?
I'm sorry?
How do you feel about the hung jury?
We have faith that the jury will decide based on all the evidence available and that Karen will be held accountable for her crimes.
This is the first time you guys have come out here. Why now? We're doing this for the O'Keefe family. They've had a terrible lack of support. It's unconscionable. This is about the victim, and Karen Reed is not the victim.
How do you guys feel about all the people that have been out here?
Tom CPU might be a pedophiles.
They have been misled and lied to. Karen killed John. They should all be ashamed of themselves. This is taking this like a recreational activity. A murder of a police officer is not a recreational activity. CPU defiled John's grave on the anniversary of his death.
Let's get behind the buffer zone, please. It's 200 feet.
Okay.
Y'all don't think they were paid actors, do you?
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know who to start. Okay, so let's start with you, Alyssa. What's going on there? Like, why? Like, what kind of ruckus are they causing at that courthouse? Why are they saying all of that? You might know.
I think they're just trying to cause, like you said, it's just ruckus. Trying to agitate, trying to do something. Who even knows? But it doesn't seem like they're actually there to support John O'Keefe.
What do you
or
think
the
they're really
O'Keefe
there
family.
for?
I mean, so it's the people who specifically are that showed up there are there because they hate Turtle Boy, like without a doubt.
What has Turtle Boy? I keep hearing this guy's name. What has he done that's so bad in this trial?
Well, they have said that he's witness intimidation charges, which aren't great. He's very outspoken, but I know at least I think it's three of them. Three of those of the five that showed up used to support him and Karen Reed, like simultaneously. Like I think I sent you that other post about it. But then they, got mad at him and decided that, actually she's guilty. It doesn't seem like it's based on actual facts. It's just that they're mad at him, so they're gonna go the opposite direction.
Hold up. So they were with Turtle Boy, and they were on that side, and then they got mad at him, and so now they're saying that Karen Reed
is guilty. Yeah.
Yeah, there is some like it's not like I don't understand where the people that want to free Karen Reed is coming from, because there have been a lot of I do remember, and we're going to talk a bit more about this next week when we do return, but I do remember a lot of the witnesses that were showing up at the first few weeks of the trial were basically saying that they didn't know some people, but their history goes back into being in the same swim team, into I can't remember who the name of the person was, but it's one of the paramedics who is close with one of the Alberts, if I'm not mistaken. And then you part so I wouldn't be sure. I wouldn't be surprised if those are the protesters here, some of their friends as well, some of the people that or whatever. But guys, thank you so much for joining me, because like I said, unfortunately we don't get to hear from the one person that that does support Karen Reed in this. Her name was True Crime with Some Wine, but she will be back next week, and so will you two. Hopefully you two will be back next week. Hopefully I will send the invites out, but thank you so much for joining me on this particular episode to go through the verdict talk. Hopefully we'll get a verdict next week. I also want to shout out Nanny Goat for tuning in. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for tuning in, Nanny Goat. Casey Jacobson, I also appreciate you. Rosalind Duke, I also appreciate you. Random Girl, thank you so much as well for tuning in. And anyone that has tuned in, and also Zach, I'm not going to forget you. I'm going to try and behave one day a week. Okay. Zach is an amazing guest to hear. I really do appreciate it. And everyone that may have tuned in, but, lurking crew, I appreciate you guys for tuning in as well. But yeah, that's all we have to discuss in regards to that hung jury. Hopefully next week we have something concrete so that we can have a bit more of a discussion. I would love to see what happens next week now, so that I have a few questions for those that are on either side of this, whether you are free Karen or jail Karen, whichever one it is. We are here to talk about it. Thank you. Make sure you go follow Pam Entertainment TV. I will list the channels in the description so that you guys can go follow. Alyssa doesn't have a channel yet. I'm encouraging her to build a channel, but oh well, we'll
One of
see.
these days.
She knows a lot more cases than me, but I'm just waiting for her to start her journey. But yeah, I appreciate Casey. Hopefully I will see you guys, Casey, Rosalind, Random Girl, all of you guys back for next week. But yeah, I'll close out with that. Thank you so much, everyone, once again. I want to ask, Pam, do you have anything going on in your channel that you would, like to plug out? I always forget to do this. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But go on.
Well, right now I'm waiting for the Courtney Clenny, and I'm waiting for the James the Baldwin case, the Russ case. I'm waiting for that to come up. I'm just going to be doing overviews because my first job, I'm not able to all I'm able to do is watch and not to react to it. So I'm just going to be doing overviews of those cases, and I do movies and television series reviews. And right now I'm reviewing the Acolyte. I'm getting my information stuff up so that I can review that channel, review that series. I was doing the House of Dragon, but that's too rich for my blood. I'm just gonna be a watcher on that show. But I do appreciate you, because I do love to talk about cases and stuff like that. So I really do appreciate you having me on your channel for this.
Yeah,
I really
man.
appreciate it.
No, it's all good. Anyone that likes true crime in one capacity and have been following a trial and have a lot of things to say, of course, would love to talk with them. But yeah, do go check her out. She does movie reviews, if I'm not mistaken, and sometimes you also talk about social events that got
Yes,
that
social
goes on.
commentary.
Social
Yes.
commentary. Sorry, that goes on. So yeah, do go check out her channel. Also, go check out my channel. I do a lot of deep dives into legal cases to talk about its impact over there in an original content form. Uh, w- I just released an interview to do with the Ali Abulaban case, speaking with a therapist to kind of unpack the domestic violence that was going on there and why so many of the things that was happening in that case. Also, next, so like I said, we have another stream coming up next where we're going to be discussing the Laura Owen Clayton Echard case, and we're going to be going through that at 1:30 Eastern time, so or 6:30 UK time. So do come over there, and yeah, check and yeah, come with the updates because there's a lot of updates in regards to in regards to that particular case that we have to unpack, and in regards to the Courtney Clendy case, we're still waiting for the hearing, like if they will have a proper hearing, what it is to set a final trial date to go to court. If that does happen, we will be watching it live on here with Trial Watch. So I can't wait for all that to happen. Thank you once again, Alyssa and Pam and Simon, for joining me. And yeah, make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Thank you for that, Random Girl. I need to send you a spanner so that you can become the moderator here, over here, as well as the Dr. Hines channel. Anyway, that's enough of me. But yeah, I will see you guys on the next stream, which is literally just a few hours away. Thank you so much.
Bye.
All right, bye.